But I've got strong disagreements with Representative Omar. I would prefer, if it were just starting from scratch, I would not choose this path. I would just say whatever stuff you all want to say. We'll say whatever stuff we want to say. Our managers will pick our team. Let's go battle it out in committee. That's what I would say. I would say that's the right place to be. But in this instance, I'm going to be very open and honest about why I'm going to vote for this resolution. That's why. Again, recognizing the statements that the representative has made, I find to be highly problematic, extremely concerning, raising very serious questions from a foreign affairs perspective, as the ranking member has raised about statements made and how he feels about people being on certain committees over here.
Today we're diving into one of the most blunt, unapologetic speeches on Capitol Hill this year, Representative Chip Roy's explanation for voting to remove Representative Ilhan Omar from the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Now, this wasn't your usual partisan back and forth. This was layered, personal, strategic, and honestly, kind of brutal. Roy didn't just make a political move, he told us exactly why he did it. If you're into sharp, honest breakdowns like this, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications.
I remember being part of all those conversations, the Senate lawyer and the Judiciary Committee. Bill first decided not to deploy the nuclear option. In 2013, Harry Reid did deploy the nuclear option. 2017, then certain things changed at the United States Supreme Court. So now we live in that world. It is what it is. Now here we sit. The door was opened. I just went back and reread my speech on the floor because the gentleman, I hadn't done that yet. I went back and reread my speech on the floor. I stand by every word of that speech, and in it I referenced the fact that I had just a few months prior had been in agreement with some of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle with respect to January 6th, which there's disagreements on our side of the aisle on some of that with respect to the votes at the time, and that I'd taken very strong disagreement and sought apology from our colleague on our side of the aisle about some of the remarks that were said, but felt that this was not the right path to go down. I stand by that. So here we sit. I could associate myself and do with all the remarks the gentleman from South Carolina. I have very strong disagreement with a lot of the statements that Representative Omar has made. We've covered most of them. That some people did something is the one that really sticks in my craw pretty strongly. Raises a whole lot of flags for me. I think there are significant amount of justifications to raise issues with respect to service on the Foreign Affairs Committee, but I would not go down this road. But I'm also reminded, in August of 1993, Juan Gonzalez was a batter for the Texas Rangers and was plunked by Alex Fernandez from the White Sox. And just a little bit later, Robin Ventura came to the plate for the White Sox, and Nolan Ryan was on the mound. And Robin knew what was about to happen. Nolan plunked him. And then Robin Ventura charged the mound, and then Nolan Ryan beat the crud out of him on the mound. That's what happened. We all know that's what happened. Old school baseball. Nolan Ryan defined old school baseball. This is raw politics. That's what this is. When the doors opened, then there's a question, and you have to decide what you're going to do. We're not going to unilaterally disarm. Just not going to do it. I'm tired of that. It just is what it is. Guys took a shot at someone on our team, about statements I disagreed with and took very much to task. But I've got strong disagreements with Representative Omar. I would prefer, if it were just starting from scratch, I would not choose this path. I'd just say whatever stuff you all want to say. We'll say whatever stuff we want to say. Our managers will pick our team. Let's go battle it out in committee. That's what I would say. I would say that's the right place to be. But at this point in time, it is my considered judgment that, like Nolan Ryan, we've got to respond. And I'm just going to be blunt and honest about it. That's just my belief. I think it's important. And I hope we'll get through this. We'll kind of hip check each other. Maybe we can sit down and figure out by the end of this Congress, next Congress, whoever's in charge, we figure out how we're going to play ball going forward and set those rules. And I would say the same thing about open rules, closed rules, structured rules. And the ranking member could scoff. We've had X number of votes. We'll have continued debate about this stuff over time. There will be closed rules. There will be structured rules. There will be open rules.
He's saying, look, this isn't about personal beef with Ilhan Omar. This is the result of years of decisions made by both parties. When Democrats stripped GOP members from committees, it set a precedent. Now, Roy says, Republicans aren't going to sit back and unilaterally disarm. The game has changed, and this vote was part of playing it. Roy said what a lot of people won't. Congress is broken. Trust is gone. Rules are blurred. And right now, no one's sure how to fix it. He floated a big idea. Maybe, just maybe, both sides can come together and set new, fair, agreed-upon rules for things like committee assignments and debates. But then he paused and basically said, don't hold your breath. Because in today's Washington, every move is treated like war. And when you're in a war, even honesty looks like aggression. Chip Roy didn't cast his vote in secret. He stood up, laid out his reasons, and said exactly what most politicians won't. This isn't ideal, but it's necessary. This speech wasn't just about Ilhan Omar. It was about how broken the rules have become, how deep the partisan battles go, and how every action now feels like a counterpunch. Whether you agree with Roy or not, one thing's clear. This is what raw politics looks like in 2025. And if we want anything to change, we need to start paying attention. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was Roy right, or was this just another political revenge play?